Hello and welcome back. So previously we talked about PDL. We showed functions and operators and how to use them together. Today we're going to be talking about word classes. So word classes are a way of bundling words together, and they're very useful for making our queries easier to write and easier to read and understand. So for today, to show this, we're going to be using the comment card data from the examples folder. This data is just kind of comments from consumers who had a hotel stay, and it shows their general assessment. So they could say very good, just a very, very basic, or they could give some details like what was wrong, what was the hair dryer, and what was wrong with it while it was not working properly. So they can give some generic or detailed description all in this text. And there's some structured data, but we don't care about that for now. Our goal here is just to create PDL queries to extract important pieces of information out of here, all the things that we like to look for. That's what we like to do. So for example, we could be interested in the staff, and we could want to know whether or not the consumer said something positive about the staff. So we could create a little bit more complicated queries to do this, but for just this tutorial, I'll use something really simple just so we're on the same page. So I could say, let's look for when they mention staff near some good word, like good. Okay, so that's just a really simple query. So this could find things like, well, good staff. That's good. Gonna be not perfect. So here the staff was nice and the service was good, but like I said, just gonna do something very simple for today. So good staff. All right. I mean, is that it? Oh no, of course not. They could say the staff was good, or if they're really happy, they could say the staff was great. So there's more, or excellent, or wonderful, and so on. So already I don't really like this because I have to use this or statement over and over and over again. I could make this a little bit better by using the or and function. So the or and function, you can just wrap around all the words you want to use, and then instead of using ors, you just use commas to create a little list. So this will look for things like good staff, or wonderful staff, or great staff, or excellent staff. So this works. It's a little bit easier to read, and it's a bit easier to manage because it's all kind of bundled together in one little function, and you don't have to worry about order of operations or groupings. It's grouped by this parentheses. But I still don't really like it because it could be a big list. I mean, this is going to go on. I could add superb to this. I could add terrific, be friendly, nice, kind, and it's starting to get really long. Well, I could wrap my text, make it a little bit easier to read, but if I have a smaller screen, which some people do, it's going to be hard to read all of this. Trying to understand what you're doing, or have someone else read over your PDL to have them understand what you're doing and help you. This is going to be very, very messy. So we need a way of making this clean and easy to read and easier to manage. Because if I'm using this piece of PDL over and over again, so maybe I'm not looking at the staff, I'm looking at the service or the cleanliness or whatever, I'm going to be repeating this statement kind of over and over again, just like slightly changing the word here. And so if I want to make an edit, if I forgot a word, and maybe something I haven't thought of yet, then I need to go back and in each one of these PDL queries add that word, and it's making editing difficult. So instead, let's use something called a word class. So a word class can be accessed in the dictionary section. So manage dictionaries or file manage dictionaries. And I can add this to my server or my project, and I'm going to add this to my project. I'll go to Word Class Dictionaries under my project folder, and I'll create a new one. And I'll call it example dictionary. And then, so I'd like to add some content to this dictionary now. So into this dictionary, and I can create a class. This class is going to be containing words that are good words. They're positive. So I'm just going to call this good. the name of the class. And then I need to register the type of speech this class is going to belong to. In this case, all the words we care about are going to be adjectives. So I'll select adjective. So I have good auto-populated there. And now I can add words like great, terrific, wonderful, superb, nice, friendly, etc. So I'm going to add all these words right here. Now that I have this completely populated, I can save and then return to my project. And to be able to use the word class in a new node, you need to make sure that node has that word class added. So I go to properties, and under dictionaries, I need to select that new word class. So this example dictionary word class, make sure it's checked. I can execute. Alright, now that that's been added to my node, I can now use that inside my node. So I'll do that. So now I can use that near term again, and then I'll use staff. And now instead of doing ORN and a bunch of words, I'll use the term function. So the term function is how we're going to access our word classes. So I'll need to provide it the name of the word class we used, and we called that word class good. So I'll type in good, and now I'm set to go. Friendly staff, wonderful staff, great staff, and so on. So now all the words that we had added to our word class dictionary are going to be included in this search term right here. So if I want to reuse this term, or this word class over and over again, all I have to do is just type in term good. I don't have to type in that big ORN section. If I want to edit it, all I have to do is return to my dictionary manager, make sure I edit to this word right, this section right here. Maybe kind. I need to add that word. Okay. Save my dictionary, and then I can just edit the or re-execute the PDL query, and then I'll be good to go. So those are word classes. They're very useful for consolidating your PDL together. This is much easier to read and understand. And word classes can be shared. They're dictionaries, so they can be exported and shared across projects. So you don't need to copy and paste big, long PDL sections. They're kind of an exportable thing. That's it for our word classes. Join us next time, and there we'll be talking about another useful tool for consolidating PDL, making it easier to use and manage, and that will be variables and macros. Alright, so see you then.